Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Now, based on the part 1 of Unit 2, we are going to start with the discussion of the question answers. So here, firstly they have asked very short question answers based on topic. First one, what is demography? So here in this answer, you all must be knowing that you have to define the meaning of the two terms, demo plus graphy. That is clear to all that demo means related to people and graphy if we talk about is the study or the science. So if we define demography, it is the study of people, systematic study of people will be defined as demography. Next they have asked the second, who used the term demography for the first time and when? So who used this term? So we can mention Galliard was the one who used it in around 1885. This term was coined in 1885. Next, what is the etymological meaning of demography? So here you can define it like that, and etymological meaning if we talk about, you can mention it is the systematic study of people. Next, what is the population of India according to census of 2011? So here you have to keep check on data. You should remember, so according to that census, around 1.21 billion was the population of India in 2011. Then what is the second most populous country in the world? Second most, which is the first one? That is China. So second most is going to be India. What is meant by population growth? So you need to explain the meaning of this term population growth. We define population growth means increase in the size of population. Size of population is known as population growth. What is fertility? Fertility, if we talk about how you have to define it, you can say that number of children that are born to a woman are known as fertility. What is the crude birth rate, or simply we can call it as a birth rate only. Birth rate means the number of live children or the number of live birth taking place in the number of live births taking place in a specified year over 1000 people in that country. Per 1000 person we can mention. Next question they have asked, what is crude death rate? That is also simple death rate. We are talking about number of deaths per 1000 people in a specified time period or in a specified year will be defined as death rate. What is meant by infant mortality rate? So to define infant mortality rate, we can say the death of infants or the children, those who haven't completed the age of 1 year. So less than 1 year of age. Those who are dying before the age of 1 year, that will be taken as infant mortality. And infant mortality rate, if we talk about, here we can explain it as the number of infants dying in a year per 1000 live births. That is the number of infants dying in a year per 1000 infants. Here, how we are going to define infant mortality rate? The number of infants dying in a year per 1000 live births. So that is the answer of this mortality rate. Then what is immigration? Immigration, you must be knowing when the people are coming from outside to your country. From outside they are coming to your state or your country. So that is immigration. Emigration means they are moving out from your locality or the area or the country or the state if we talk about. When they are moving out. So you have to define it. How is age composition studied? So you have to define it into 3 parts, that how they are classified 0 to 14 years, the second 15 to 59 years and the third one 60 years and above. So in that age group they are divided and the study is being done. What is meant by life expectancy? So you have to explain that life expectancy means the number of years a person born in a particular year can be expected to live. The chances of survival of that particular person will be taken as life expectancy. What is sex and the gender ratio? If we talk about the sex and gender ratio, can refer to the number of female per thousand males. Number of females, that is per thousand males, is known as gender or sex ratio. What is the sex or the gender ratio in India according to census of 2011? So we have to mention that according to census of 2011, the gender or sex ratio was 940 females per 1000 males. Clear? Another question they have asked, what is the meaning of rural and urban distribution? That we know that the one where we are talking about the people belonging to particular village, or here urban, people belonging to town or city, and accordingly the distribution being done in these areas is known as rural urban distribution. What is literacy? In India, literacy is defined as a person. Literacy means in India, if we talk about here, we are going to define the meaning of literacy. It means the ability to read and write in any of the language. Clear? What is meant by literacy rate? If we talk about here, we can say literacy rate is the percentage of population who are literate. The percentage when we are calculating, the one those who are literate will be taken as literacy rate. Next, they have asked, what is the literacy rate in India according to census of 2011? So, according to the census of 2011, the literacy rate was 74.04%. You need to remember that data because in questions it can be asked. What is the main aim of population policy in India? We have to mention the main aim of that. Although different objectives were there, but basically we have to focus here on main aim because these we are doing the very short question answers. So the main aim you can mention to reduce the population growth by reducing the birth rate. So that is the main aim, to reduce the population growth by reducing the birth rate. Next, what is the new name of family planning program in India? So the new name was Family Welfare Program. Family Welfare Program is the new name given to this family planning program. Expand the abbreviation KAP. So K stands for knowledge here. A stands for attitude. And P stands for practice. Here you have to give the full form of this abbreviation. Next, what is the basic aim of Family Welfare Program? So you have to mention their main aim is to achieve the stable population by 2045. 2045 they have to achieve the target of a stable population by working on the different factors. Now we are going to take short question answers based on the part 1 of unit 2. Here the question number 1 they have asked, give some reasons for the high birth rate in India. So you have to mention like some of the reasons for high birth rate in India are universality of marriage because of religious belief. Early marriage is also the problem. You can mention about that how the importance is given to a male child, and desire for a son you can mention like that. The third you can mention that economic, social, cultural and religious value of children. Besides that, importance given to childbearing by a woman. So all these points you can mention here, which has given rise, which has led to high birth rate in India in past. Next they have asked, what is mortality? Mortality means simply death. You have to mention. What are the important measures for mortality if we talk about? You can mention the death rate is the one, life expectancy and infant mortality rate. All these are the important measures to find out the mortality. What is migration? You need to define the meaning of the migration. Means the movement of people from one place to another place, and the two type of migration you can mention. The two type you can mention internal that is within the country from one state to another state, and the second one is international one from one country to another country. Yeah. Next, distinguish between long-term migration and short-term. So simply you have to mention the long-term migration is known as when it involves and you are going from one place to another place in search of work or job and changing to or planning to change your residence on permanent or semi-permanent basis. Okay, short term, when usually seasonal movement you are talking about, when people move from one place to another in search of work but for a shorter period of time. Next, what is the most important type of long-term migration in India? If we talk about the most important long-term migration is rural-urban migration, that we can mention here, rural-urban migration. What is the proportion of migrant population in India according to 2001 census? So we have to mention the data. According to that census, it was around 28%. Clear? Next, what is the main aim of national population policy, they have asked. So if we talk about the main aim of national population policy, we need to define that it is just to bring total fertility rate down to replacement levels by 2010 through vigorous implementations of intersectoral operational strategies. Means by using the different strategies. By 2010, they capped the target that they were supposed to bring the fertility level down. And long-term target, if we talk about, it is in 2045, where they have targeted to achieve a stable population. So that is the main aim of National Population Policy 2000. Next, we are going to discuss about the essay type questions here. The first one they have asked, what is social demography and what are its subject matters? So we have to mention that social demography takes into account social and the cultural factor, that it includes the social and cultural factors here. While we are studying demographic processes or demographic structure, and what are its subject matters? In that, what you can mention while we are talking about the subject matter of demographic process, we include fertility, mortality, migration, and while we are talking about the demographic structure, at that time we are going to include age composition, sex composition and size of the population. So these are the subject matters which comes under the social demography. Another one, what are the salient features of national population policy? So we have to discuss about the salient feature of national population policy. The main aim, if we talk about, to reduce birth rate, very important aim. Second, we can mention about provide basic requirements for reproductive and child care services. Then you can mention that to raise the age of marriage, to provide universal immunization of the children, to control AIDS and other communicable diseases, to promote vigorously the small family norm. So all these are the ones, and all the salient features that we have discussed in the text can be mentioned here. The next question, that is based on higher order thinking skill, that is HOTS, and problem solving assessment PSA. The question they have asked, a child is studying in KG. They have given you the condition that child is studying in KG class and can read and write. Is this child a literate according to the census of India? So that is value based question here we can say. So we have to understand that anyone who can read and write and must be above the age of 7 years in India. Basically, we are talking about the one who is above the age of 7 years and is able to read and write in any language we talk about, will be considered as literate. Clear? So, according to that, this child will not be considered as the literate one. And here, if we talk about, we need to all the data, we have to mention all the data that what is the literacy rate of India. First, we will define the meaning of literacy. Define the meaning of literacy first. Why? Because it's a value-based question, high order thinking skills, where you have to include all the data related to that. Then you will mention if the census, according to the census, what was the literacy rate in India and what are the different factors leading to that. And literacy rate in India gradually rising what are the factors responsible for that, better education facilities, more number of schools are opened up. So all these things you are going to mention to justify to your answer. Clear? So hopefully all the question answers are clear to each and everyone based on the first part of your unit 2.